Hello, once again, we are going to be having a drink of the alcohols. Today we're going to be looking at a different ale, Marston's Old Empire India Pale Ale, otherwise known as an IPA or an IPA. Now, this one's 5.7% volume. Some really very evocative imagery here. We've got the three little indications on the top here, Burton Union oak barrels. And that little imagery at the top there, around the barrels. We see the ship, which is going to be very hard for the camera to pick out, but it's managed it. A tall ship there. And the little rope tied off, ready. The writing here, you might not be able to read it. A true IPA with a strong hop aroma and flavour. Well, we'll soon see about that aroma. Recent ones have been a bit of a letdown nose-wise. A rich malty bitter taste and pale in colour. Yes, this I've never tried an IPA before. Also, of note about the bottle, this design here you can just see is replicated around the edge of the bottle as well. So it's the barrels make here from Marston's. So I did a little bit of checking into IPAs, and they are unusual. They've got their own little history behind them. So I've just found a web page, and I thought I'd read a direct quote straight from it. So here's what it says about it. In the early 1700s, Britain had a problem. Troops and British citizens living in India as part of the colonial rule did not have access to good British ale, and any attempts to ship the malt British ales to them resulted in spoilage. India Pale Ale, or IPA, was the solution. The generous amount of hops in this brew protected it from the heat and motion of the British sailing ships of the day. IPA could have faded into history when the British occupation of India ended, but a fateful shipwreck firmly established IPA as its own style, rather than a sub-style speciality brew. In 1827, a ship leaving London wrecked and damaged some of the casks of IPA on board. The casks were sold there in England, and the unusually hoppy ale was a big hit. Soon the new brew was in demand and a new style. Okay, so I'm expecting something really, really different here in the taste balance. Okay, a little bit of on the back here, the original export. It'd be a bit old, wouldn't it, if it'd be gone off by now. Marston's Old Empire is a true India Pale Ale. It has a strong hop aroma and flavour, a rich malty bitter taste, and is pale in colour. During the 19th century, Burton became famous for brewing the best beer for export to India. Sparkling spring water, a robust strain of yeast, high levels of hops and maturation in oak casks all ensured that the beer survived the 3-month sea journey to India. The result was a beer with a tangy, clean bitterness and wonderfully refreshing character. We use lightweight bottles because they are better for the environment. That's what it says on there. That's cool, right? For those Fallout fans, here's your currency. Nice little bit of proving there. Just give me a wax seal and pop. By the way, it looks blue there, but it's actually purple to the naked eye. Let me just dress it. There we go. Oh, now that was really, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's some on my screen. Just it. Whereas if you're trying to explain about the you put more well, it punches straight away. Whoa. It is quite pale in colour, as you can see. I don't really go too much on dark beers. I tend to like the lighter ones. But this being pale ale, will this be the extreme end of that like, or will it be just so weird that I'm just not really into it, that high hops amount? Let's check. Right, bottoms up. Not saying you'd do anything if you got drunk like that, but, you know. For some reason they say that. I think it's the bottom of the glass. Punchy nose, anyway. I'm sure if I said that to you in real life, you probably would be punchy nose. Right, let's go. Ooh, rich. You know how like a Christmas pudding is richer than normal pudding? Shut up, stomach. Well, this is richer than normal ale. Satisfying degree of bitter. Alright. It gets stronger in the aftertaste. Very strong hoppy flavour. Rich, golden, warm, not really even toasted. What's the word I'm looking for here? There's a sweetness to it, which would almost lend itself to saying it's almost something caramelised, but you're not just swallowing a beer, you're swallowing a mouthful of built-up richness. But yes, in that same way that, like, Christmas pudding or Christmas cake, you know, it's densely packed with all that fruit and stuff. You imagine, for the same volume that you'd find in ale, this is densely packed with all those hops. That really does affect the flavour. And little tiny burp things that's coming out at the moment. Taste. Really unusual for ale burps. You can even taste it there in the burpage. Because, you know, burpage is one of the taste tests, at least for me. I've got to say, with it being so hoppy, I was expecting it to not be as smooth a drink, and it's a very nice smooth drink. And the thing is, the way I like to drink an ale usually is slow, enjoy it over the course of doing something. I don't like to keep on drinking it and talking about it too much. So it's kind of counterintuitive to the way I drink normally, but yeah, it's got a nice enough golden taste. I think as you drink more of it, they hit very, very high level, begins to perhaps intrude upon the palate, higher than the pleasure centres of the ale. The bitterness starts to take over on the end result of the palate. It's definitely there in the aftertaste, but then it just rises a touch higher, and the more you drink, it actually scales up. But definitely the first mouthfuls were the nicest. So yes, as the palate adjusts, it definitely starts to lose its bang, and that's a shame, really. Because when I was first drinking it, I was thinking, oh gosh, we might be looking at a solid 4 out of 5 here. And if you're an IPA fan, 4.5. But no. It does have that balance of bitter, but it's at the high end of the spectrum. I'd say probably. You see, yeah, that's just getting stronger and stronger now. That pervasive, in your face. It's far too in your face. That pervading bitterness. See, as each moment goes by, the pint score of this just is going down and down. So I'm going to stop it there before it can fall too much. I'm going to give this 2.5 pints, okay? However, if you are already an IPA fan, and it may well be that I'm not, this is the first such drink I've ever had, and you do like a strong bitter aftertaste, then you probably want to consider this as a 4 or 4.5. However, for everyone else, I'm going to give it 2.5 pints. So, that's it from me. Until the next drink and the next experience, well, ta-ta the Raz.